What is up, YouTube, and welcome to my take on the Insta360 X5. Now, this is an unbiased review, of course, because nobody has sent me any camera. I bought this camera with my own money, and I didn't even plan to review it or anything like that, but I decided to just go ahead and give you my thoughts because I have some thoughts about this camera. And they're not all good, but they are honest. By the way, just so you know, we're filming this entire video on the X5 and the audio is coming straight from the camera. I'm not using any other external recorders or anything like that. So what you see is what you get. This video is more of a show and tell kind of deal for this camera, because you're going to be able to see how the camera performs in a quite difficult situation, because we're backlit right now by the sun over there that's rising, and we're in a shaded area covered by trees. So you're going to be able to see how this camera performs in, I would say, challenging situations, and you will get to see and hear the audio that comes straight from the camera. So I apologize if at any point in this video this audio kind of doesn't sound as good, but at least you're going to be able to see 100% what this camera is capable of. I think first things first, I have to talk about why I got this camera. And before I tell you that, I have to go back and tell you my brief history with 360 cameras. My first 360 camera was the Insta360 X5, and I got it because a client requested 360 video on a job. And I went ahead and I picked up the camera, and I naturally invoice the client for the cost of the camera, and that's how I got my X3 for free. And that's a little quick tip for anybody out there who struggles with getting new gear and not knowing how to budget for new gear. Usually what I do is that I wait for a job that requires me to use a specific piece of gear, and if the cost of the item is not like super high, or it's something that I can fit into a rental budget or something like that, I usually put that as a line item on the invoice, and I invoice my clients, and it's sort of like how you can get new gear for pretty much for free. So again, there's more to it than that. If you are curious about how, I guess, leave that in the comments below, and I'll try to make a separate video covering that topic through and through. So anyways, that's how I got my X3, and I love that camera immediately because of the immersive quality of 360 video. I think it was like so good. That camera obviously did suffer from what every single Insta360 or pretty much 360 camera suffers from, and it's that as soon as you start reframing the video and zooming in, the quality goes down substantially and very quick. So I didn't like that about the X3. So when the X4 came out, I thought it was going to be a big jump in quality because it offered 8K and all that stuff. So I got the X4 to replace the X3, and to my surprise, it wasn't so much of a improvement over the X3, and I wasn't really super thrilled about that. And my hype and interest for 360 cameras sort of started declining with the X4, because I invested in a camera that wasn't really all that much of an upgrade from the X3 that I already had. So I was kind of bummed out about that. So naturally, when the X5 dropped, I was like, here we go, it's another whatever so-so update for the Insta360 cameras, and it's going to suffer from the same things that the other ones did and all that stuff. And yes, that is still true. Unfortunately, 360 cameras suffer from that. As soon as you start stretching the video to make it a flat image and to be able to use it in any sort of way, the quality starts to drop pretty substantially and pretty quick. So that's something that 360 cameras suffer from still nowadays, and this X5 still suffers from that. Although in the general sense of things, it has been an upgrade from the X4, and that's kind of what prompted me to make this video. It's because there is for me at least, a good jump in quality to justify the X5. But I didn't get the X5 just because it was an upgrade to the X4. I wasn't gonna get the X5 at all because I didn't think it was that much of an upgrade. But I scratched the lens of my X4. And as you know, with cameras before the X5, the lenses on these cameras are not replaceable. You have to send them out to Insta360 and they have to send you back a refurbished product. I think that's what they do. And you still have to wait like 1-2 couple weeks for you to get a replacement back. So you're pretty much without a camera for a little bit. So I was debating whether I would send it to Insta360 and get the lens replaced, or if I should bite the bullet and get the X5. So I wrestled with that for like a day, and I said, you know what? The benefit of having user replaceable lenses is pretty significant for me. So I went ahead and I said, you know what? Let me just get the X5. I'll test it out. If it's to my liking, I'll keep it. And if it's not, then I'll just send it back and I'll replace the lens on my X4. Then I got the X5 and I started using it immediately, and I really liked the image quality coming out of the X5. I specifically liked the way that it handled shadows and the way that it handled this type of environment that I'm in right now, which is bright sunlight, deep shade, and kind of like inconsistent lighting. And granted, we're not moving through this space right now, but if we were, the camera's gonna handle it very nicely. There is a level of comfort that comes from knowing that you can replace your lenses at the drop of a hat quick and get back to shooting like almost instantaneously. That to me was what prompted me even more so to get the X5. Out of all of the features that this camera offers, like improved image quality, a slightly larger sensor and all that stuff, the one thing that actually pushed me over the edge was being able to change these lenses, because they are bulging and they stick out and they are so easy to get scratched and knocked into things when you're using them in a regular scenario. All right, so a bit of pros and cons in this camera. The pros are the better image quality. The pros are that you can change your lenses when you need to. Over the X4, that's pretty much it. The jump in quality it's not like substantial. It's not like, oh my God, you have to get this camera if you don't have it, but it's there. You know, that's all I can say about that. We got noise, ambient. I'm gonna keep talking so you can hear what happens. That's what happens when you film outdoors. There is improved audio. I have to say that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be attempting to film this video with just the X5 and nothing else. And what really drove me to record this video with the X5 and sort of like trust it in that sense is because I saw a video that Chris made. Chris Meets Chris. He's a vlogger here on YouTube, where he used it to vlog for a day, and I was like, wait, what? No microphone, no nothing, and it sounded incredible. If you don't know who he is, I'll leave his information down below so you can check him out. He does great walk and talk vlogs here on YouTube that I find very interesting. So anyways, I saw his video and I was like, wow, that's great. It sounds really, really good. Because usually when I use these cameras, I don't use them for this type of video and scenario. I use it mostly for the visuals. The way I use these cameras is super simple. They are mainly for social media use for me. Usually I just take these cameras on behind the scenes for my jobs, and I set the camera up on a little tripod or wherever, and I let it roll, and then when I'm back home I can create a video to showcase what I was doing throughout the day. It's usually how I use these cameras, and when I go traveling I like to take them for that larger than life aspect that only 360 cameras can provide.
So I think that naturally I kind of want to compare this camera to the Action 5, which is probably my favorite camera at the moment for this sort of content creation thing.
But they're super different. They're so different in the way that they function and the way that the user experience when it comes to shooting with these cameras is so vastly different that I don't think that they compete. I think they complement each other more than compete against each other, because with the 360 camera you get these like extremely immersive
point of view type of shots that you can't get with any other camera. And with the something like the Action 5, you get more of that higher quality, more dedicated video that just the Insta360 or 360 cameras in general, they just can't compete because they're not built for that. It's kind of hard to explain. This is a far better video centric camera than the Insta360, but the Insta360 is more unique in what it can offer you. So that's why it makes sense to sort of like own these two cameras if you are able to. For me, I make a living out of videography, so having tools in my toolkit makes sense, but perhaps that's not the same for everyone. And speaking of user experience, I have to talk about the Insta360 app. Now, one of the big things that they did now is that they kind of like refreshed and revamped their app, which I think was a mistake. I think the app worked better before. It was a lot more intuitive and it was less convoluted with all these things and stuff that they added that it sort of complicates and might scare people who don't know how to use 360 cameras and don't have the experience. I'm having a hard time with this new app because I just don't like the interface. I don't like where they put the stuff. It makes it like you have to take extra steps to do things that were just like right in front of you with the older app. So I don't know if Insta360 ever watches this video. I hope that you consider my thoughts on the app because it just takes away from the user experience of 360 shooting and it's very frustrating. So please fix it. Give us something that's a little bit easier to use, a little more intuitive like the old app. It wasn't broken. I don't know why you felt the need to fix it. We appreciate new things. We appreciate advances in technology and advances in all that stuff. But there's something about the new app that just sucks. And I don't like it. And not that the app is terrible. It works and you can do more than what you could do before and all that stuff. It's just that the way that they set it up is a little bit more complicated. And there's a little bit of a learning curve that comes with it. But I do find these cameras to be super unique and super fun to use because they're the only cameras where you can do stuff like this. I mean, I don't know. This is kind of fun. I wouldn't use this all the time, but yeah, it kind of works for this, I guess. So another new feature that this camera has is the ability to take photos or video by simply grabbing your selfie stick and sort of twisting it twice like this. Like I'm using this just for show because I'm recording with a camera. So you take your selfie stick and you just sort of twist it twice and it starts and stops videos and also takes pictures, which is a feature that I like. I love that feature. I think it's a super convenient way of shooting your video and starting and stopping, but I think it's just a software upgrade. I think they should have done that for any of the other cameras because it's a gyroscope thing. So I guess you got to get the X5 to get that, and it's a nifty feature. I don't know. That's pretty much all I want to say about the Insta360 X5. I think it's a great camera. I think it's not that big of an upgrade from the X4. If you do have an X4 and you're considering the X5, if switching your lenses is something that is very important to you like it was for me, I would say go ahead and do it and you will get a slightly better camera in the end. But if not, then don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.